Welcome to the 2012 Aloha Clinic Free Kicks training tape. We're going to start off with a point of attack holding call on a free kick return. So the kick is away. When the returner starts to return in our direction, I'll stop it and we're going to highlight the two people in question here. So take a look at the interaction there as it relates to the runner. You can see a couple of good tugs and then the official throws the flag. There's a little question as to whether or not the flag was in the right place and which official should have thrown it and or both. I would have liked to have seen the official that is supposed to be deeper to have been deeper, but it's a good call for a hold on a kickoff, and it was a good get by that official. Play number 2, we're going to stay with that same theme. It's the first threat, which is critical on any kickoff play that we're able to pick this up. Now in this case it's a little unusual because we've got 3 going on at the same time. You don't see that very often, but let's highlight the one right in the middle. Figure out in your mechanic who's responsible for that guy, and that's just a pull down, takedown, hold, and a good call. Play number 3, an illegal block in the back was called on this return, and it's incorrect for a couple of reasons. I've got the player highlighted here. When he engages that defender, he rolls around with him, maintains contact, and gives him a little shove. So that's called a continuous block. Besides that, even if it wasn't continuous, there's not enough of an act there to call a block in the back. It had no material impact on the play. In fact, that player went down and made the tackle. So let's make them bigger than that. Play number 4 is a complicated one because there's 2 fouls that were called on the play. The first one was for an illegal block in the back, which I thought was a good call. The second one was for a dead ball personal foul late hit on number 2 of the kicking team, which was an incorrect call, and you could see him flying in there at that point. So we're going to watch it from the end zone view. This will not show you the illegal block in the back, but you will see number 2 flying in and landing on the ball carrier out of bounds. Now, let's go ahead and concentrate on the illegal block in the back, and here's the setup for it. You can see that the player in the orange pants is on the outside of the pursuit angle of the guy who's pursuing the ball carrier. So when he hits him in the back, it is an illegal block in the back. Now, this player that's highlighted, that's number 2, and he's the one that was called for the dead ball personal foul late hit out of bounds. And you can see as we start it back up, he lands on him, but he was pushed by number 66. And you can see it a little bit in that clip, and you'll be able to see it again a little bit in this clip. He's just shoved down, so you just have to see the entire play if you're going to call a foul. Play number 5. Play number 5 is one of my favorite plays. There's no flags that are thrown on this play, but there very easily could have been. The first one we watch is this one for a possible block in the back. Very easy to get sucked into that. The second one that we're going to look at is for a possible hold. Now we have to figure out in our mechanic who's got these guys. And you can see there is some grabbing going on. So we'll look at it from the end zone view, take another perspective of how it looks. Now that may be a hold, but he's really not trying to do anything as far as getting away, so I would pass on that. But let's go back to this block in the back that we passed on. Here's the official somewhere over here that should be watching it. Contact, roll around, continuous, and a push in the back. That's why it's not a foul. Excellent job. I had to put in a 5B late addition I just found in the kicking game, and this has to do with, again, first threat, point of attack, and you may have seen it, you may not have seen it, but there was an illegal low block against the kicking team. It doesn't happen very often, but it happens enough that we have to be aware of it. So first threat, the opposite official has to pick this guy up, because what he does is he goes low, and he cleans a guy out at the knees, and the guy's noticeably upset with him. He's hanging over him, yelling at him about it. But we did not get this call, and we need to be able to pick this up. And the only way we can do it is discuss our keys and areas of responsibility. Play number 6. I'm going to show this a couple of times. It's a long kickoff return for a touchdown, maybe 94 yards or something. There was a little bit of a tug at the 22 when the kick was being set up. I think it was early enough that you don't want to get involved in that as a hold, But there's a couple of other things that we're going to discuss along the way with regards to this play. I'm going to show you a brief section of this end zone clip because I wanted you to see the receiver bobble the ball. When the receiver bobbles the ball, you know that the person deepest, the referee in this case, is going to be focused on that. So he's not going to be able to pick up any kind of first threat because he's watching the bobble. So the wing official, whoever is responsible for that, you know I don't like this 20-30 mechanic, but whoever is over there responsible for that needs to pick it up and evaluate it because the referee will have no chance of doing that. The next thing I want to talk about on this play is the deep official who's responsible for the goal line, but in this case the returner got up on him and he's going to get burnt to the goal line. So there's no way you're going to beat this guy. The best thing you can do is not try to race him. You're going to pull a hamstring, you're not officiating, you can't see anything, and you can't watch the sideline. So the best thing you can do if you know you're going to get burnt is to step down a little bit, let them get by you, continue to officiate that sideline and any action right around it. You've got a guy standing on the goal line that's going to help you out. Now, play number 7, this is just an example of why I don't like the 20-30 mechanic that the National Federation has promoted over the last couple of years. And it just puts guys in positions where they're going to get hurt or they can't see what's going on the play. Here's another look at it. You can see as the ball passes that official who's positioned there, he's looking at 3 players and the other 19 players are somewhere else. Get into this position where the yellow arrow is so that you can see everything coming at you. Be a better official and make better calls. Play number 8 is a kick that goes all the way to the goal line, and we have to decide whether or not it's a touchback or not. And in some cases, even though the referee's in perfect position, the receiver will have his back to you, and it's really very difficult to tell. I suggest in these cases, if you can't tell, let the receiver decide. If he pulls up or takes a couple of steps and stops, touchback. If he takes off running, let him go. And in this case, we let him go. Ended up being a spectacular play. He made the right decision. We didn't have to get involved in something that may or may not have been correct because we couldn't see exactly where the ball was, and it worked out just fine. Play number 9, same philosophy except on this play I think he could see, and I don't like that he let him come out. Now college ball fine, Texas ball fine, but the National Federation says that if that ball penetrates the goal line prior to being possessed in the field of play, that it is a touchback. And in this case you can see that the receiver jumps, has the ball, comes down. You gotta go touchback with this. I don't see how you can let this guy come out of the end zone. The next couple plays involve pile pickers, or guys hitting late after the play is over. And on kickoffs, it's very easy because guys are spread out for us not to pick it up. So that's why it's much more important on kickoffs that we focus on the perimeter just a little bit longer. We got this guy highlighted. Long time after. Comes in. Severe enough for a personal foul. Also, umpire, that was a great pickup on the foul, but when the referee's giving his signal, you need to keep the team off the ball so that we don't have any kind of crazy action going on before he's ready.
17-yard line, 18-yard line.
Personal foul.
And so Paruku will start from their own 18-yard line with 3:11 left to go in the first quarter, down just by 3 points.
Play number 11, this is another pile picker. You've got a guy that comes completely around everything, has nothing to do with the play, and picks a guy off behind the play. So I've got him highlighted here. You'll see him come around, just creams a guy for no reason. That's a personal foul. Now referees, this has to be your pickup because the wing guys are going to have forward progress and you're going to have the action around that area. So that's going to be your call. Play number 12, this is one of my favorite plays because there's so much going on after the play and it would really take a coordinated effort by the officials to figure it out. But the runner's down at the 45 and then we got a lot of action that goes on and then the referee makes this announcement.
After the play was over, personal foul, Punahou, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So what really happened after the play is the guy in red, highlighted here, decides to hit the guy in yellow. Very late. Definitely a personal foul on the return team. Then the guy that's highlighted in red, also decides to hit the guy highlighted in yellow. Probably not a personal foul, but it was instigating in nature. And as a result, the yellow guy next to him says, well, I'm going to knock you out because you hit my buddy. And all of that ends up in either personal fouls against each team or a 2-1 personal foul, depending on how you interpret the second one. Very interesting play, and just one that opens up the world to us from an observation standpoint of trying to keep track of everything that can possibly happen at the end of a play. This next play, number 13, is an onside kick. It came out of the blue a little bit, and the guys weren't ready. I'm going to let it run through, and then we're going to talk about a few things relating this that we could probably improve on. Number one, being ready for an onside kick on every single kick. In fact, that's one of the things I say before every kick, is every kick's an onside kick until the kicking team proves me wrong. So let's break this down a little bit. What happens is the line judge highlighted here takes off early. That is a very poor mechanic, and when you look at the line of scrimmage for the kicking team, it's quite possible that the kicking team was encroaching, and if they're going to do a trick play or an onside kick, that is a hard plane, and if he is encroaching, we can then shut that down in the high school rule book, and it no longer exists. So assuming the kick is legal, it does go the 10 yards, and it is touched by the receiving team, and then there's a question about recovery. The official on the sideline who mechanically was out of position and rules that the kicking team recovers and then just signals the wrong way. I think it just started bad and ended bad for him. It looks like the kicking team may have recovered it, but you can see that stop action. It's just a question of when did he have possession, before or after his foot slid out of bounds. It's very difficult to make that call if you're not mechanically ready for every onside kick. We're going to end this tape on play number 14. This is just a pooch kick, and it never hit the ground off of the tee, and the kicking team got down there so quick and the kick was so high that they caught it. And in the high school rule book, that is interfering with the receiving team's ability to catch the ball, so kick-catch interference properly announced, and a nice job by the officiating crew.
Freeze as we listen here.
Kick-catch interference, kicking team. Waipahu has chosen to take the ball at the spot of the foul. First down.
If you got